Neil's on Dynasty back again with you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Buy some silver, some platinum, some crystallized osmium. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. It's better than being a jerk. Mad scientist, sorry. Just did some more research and discovered SMR developers engage with U.S. regulators. Let me get my bro hot going here. Best I can do. Oklo, OKLO Inc., a deep atomic Inc., are embarking on pre-application engagements with U.S. nuclear regulatory for their respective projects. Oklo Inc. is engaging with regulators ahead of an application to construct and operate an Aurora powerhouse at Idaho National Laboratories, while Deep Atomic is planning to apply for a design certification of its MK60 small modular reactor. So this is a new company. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission policy on regulating advanced nuclear reactors encourages would-be applicants to engage with its, hold on, well, I screwed that up. Policy on regarding advanced nuclear reactors encourages would-be applicants to engage. It encourages would-be applicants to engage with the staff early and often in the design process to help minimize complexity and added stability and practicability in the licensing and regulation process. California-based Oklo, that's where I got it from, California. So it's California-based Oklo, OKLO, is engaging with the regulators through a pre-application readiness assessment for the combined license application, COLA, COLA. It intends to submit later this year. The readiness assessment allows the NRC staff to review and familiarize themselves with Oklo's licensing materials ahead of the full application so that both sides can be prepared for an efficient review, the company said. The readiness assessment will begin later this month and will address the content of the first phase of Oklo's COLA submission, which will include information on the sitting and environmental portion of the application. Oklo's plans to submit a formal COLA later this year, with plans for a follow-up application for an order pipeline of 14 GW. The Aurora powerhouse is a fast neutron reactor that uses heat pipes to transport heat from the reactor core, capable of producing electricity up to 50 megawatts, or heat. Oklo received a site use permit from the U.S. Department of Energy in 2019 to build and operate a prototype reactor at Idaho's National Laboratories, and is working towards a site characterization for the first of a kind plant. It seems engaged with NCR. It has been engaged with NCR since 2016, aiming to establish a clear regulatory pathway for advanced nuclear technologies. We continue making progress towards obtaining commercial licenses for the next generation nuclear technologies, the CEO of Oklo said. His name is Jacob DeWitt. Design certifications. Hey, what's up again? There's another company come out. I just got the news. They're out of California. They're starting the regulatory process to get licensed to build a SMR and micronuclear reactors. They're called Oklo, OKLO. What's up, Tom? A Deep Atomic Formality notified the NRC in a letter dated 20 March of its intent to begin the pre-application process for the design certification of its MK60 SMR small modular reactor. The MK60 SMR uses pressurized light water reactor technology and is designed to produce 60 megawatts of electricity and 60 megawatts of cooling. It is specifically intended to cater for data centers, and the Zurich, Switzerland headquarter company says its targeted data for the project is fourth quarter of 2029. We're looking forward to collaborating with the NRC to ensure a transparent, efficient, and thorough review process throughout all stages of the licensing process. Deep Atomic, another company, CEO William Theron said in a letter to NCR. Deep Atomic, another company, along with the California-based Oklo, Oklo, I guess you said. Anyhow, Deep Atomic is another business looking to get into the micronuclear reactor, small modular reactor market and going for licensing. This is not financial advice, but anytime you see stuff like this, great investment opportunity before it hits the mainstream to put some money in it. Because if they make it through these regulatory processes, they're fast-tracked and they're up and running and you're making money. That happened with, what's up, Deja Vu? That happened with nanonuclear energy, and now they're up to like $24 a stock. And, you know, they started out like $1 or $2, something like that. So if you get in early, you can take the first bump advantage, and then there'll be like several others if they're successful. Deep Atomic initiated the consultation with the NRC in October of last year. It aims to submit its regulatory engagement plan in July and design certification application by the fourth quarter of 2027. So you're still getting in early on this company called Deep Atomic that's getting in SMRs and small micro modular reactors, MMRs. It told the NRC that it also intends to submit applications for early site permit, which certifies that a site is suitable for the construction of a nuclear power plant from the point of the view of safety, site safety, environmental impact, and emergency planning. By the fourth quarter of 2027, without naming a proposed site, is when they're going to start building or be ready, licensed to build. A Deep Atomic recently issued a white paper on its vision to co-locate for co-location of SMRs at data centers to provide fully integrated, optimized power and cooling generations. Oh, wow. Okay, I get what they're about now. I was wondering why they were doing the 60 megawatts of cooling. They're specifically, it sounds like, making a micronuclear reactor in this fashion for data processing centers so that they can make the atomic energy that gives them the electricity and use the cooling energy to cool down the process servers. This is interesting. I've got to research this more. This deep system integration goes beyond traditional co-location models. The company says viewing data center and SMR as part of an integrated system rather than two separate entities, integrating power generation and data center operations, data center operations, in a way that is set to transform the way data centers approach energy resilience and sustainability, the company said. This would work great for a, hey, Deja Vu, this would work great for a crypto mining operation, along with other operations, because SMRs provide but this style that they're talking about provides cooling as well as to where nanonuclear, they are doing SMRs as well. I'm not exactly sure what type, but their micronuclear reactors are what's big for them. This company here, what's the name of this company again? Deep Atomic, seems to be working specifically on micronuclear reactors that can generate power and be used for cooling, specifically for data centers, which is very, very interesting. NCR pre-application activates mainly occur through three processes: white papers, technical reports, and topical reports, and the readiness assessment. White papers are documents requesting NRC feedback on a technical programmatic, regulatory and administrative topics that may involve challenges, issues, describe new or novel approaches, involve policy issues that require commission involvement, and or technical areas that our applicant vendors have little experience. So there you go. There's absolutely now two. You have Deep Atomic and Oklo. Top right there, those two companies. Oklo Inc. and Deep Atomic Inc. are embarking on pre-applications for engagement with the nuclear regulators. What's up, Mr. West Coast Stacker? Independent Mini? So there's going to be two new companies. It sounds like by 2027 to 2029, they will be producing micro and small modular reactors of different types other than nano nuclear energy, who's actually now producing uh, micro and small modular reactors and distribute them out in Europe and in Canada. Deja vu. It is for these companies because of the processing that they're going through. But if you watch my shows on nano nuclear energy has already got a place in Idaho at the NCR's plant and has had it for a couple of years, working hand in hand with the regulators, and have already turned out. They're in the final stages of being able to turn out their micro nuclear reactor, doing the design style for power use only. Was it that other company, Deep, whatever it was, the second time, Deep something, Deep Inc. Their nano micro nuclear technology seems to be geared in a totally different format that's geared specifically for not only generating power, but in the cooling down process of the water used to that maintains the micro nuclear reactor, that keeps it redundantly safe. They plan on using that water as a cooling, and they've extended the pipes or something like that from the bare minimum information I got. So they're going in a totally different direction of micro nuclear, specifically designed for processing center processes, information processing centers that need lots of cooling and lots of power. They seem like they're developing. So, and they're not going to start. They just started the regulatory process. So there's only one company now actually producing micro nuclear reactors. That's NNE. But there are two others that just put in applications to come up with two totally different styles of micronuclear reactor for different parts of the economy and use cases. Even though all of them do create power, it seems like this Deep Inc. company produces power and cooling at the same. There's like 60 gigawatts of power and 60 gigawatts of cooling. So it's definitely a different type of micronuclear reactor design. And they just applied within NRC to be able to start development and work hand in hand with a relationship with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission here in America to develop that style of micronuclear reactor. But if they come up with that micronuclear reactor, man, data processing centers are going to pop up over America. Because again, that they're American-based company. No, the Deep State is Swedish. The other company, Oklo, is California based. So it obviously makes sense that the Deep whatever company is working on a micronuclear reactor process that employs benefits of both the cooling system and the electrical power generation system. They don't have a working model. They don't even have a prototype yet, but they're located in Switzerland, and that's where all the major financial. And interestingly enough, if you go back and you research that company, Switzerland's like the head of freaking the digital economy, transfer of money anyhow. So if they're looking at or they are coming, they developed a company that's coming up with a new micro nuclear reactor that also uses cooling for the same amount of megawatts of power. It gets megawatts of cooling. That makes me wonder what kind of data processing they're going to be doing by 2030. You know, once people come up with new things, it'll make you think, what is the use case? And they clearly described it's for data processing centers. And they clearly said it was from Switzerland. Clearly said it'll be getting up and going by 2029. So that means by 2030, they're going to be doing a lot of computer processing, possibly a digital economy. Research it. I don't know. Well, I do, but research it on your own because you don't need to believe me. Hey, there you go. You know, power, you get enough drunks walking in a circle, you can get some power going. Hook them up like those mules that walk around, crush the grain, making a big generator in the center. Why can't they run without uranium? Maybe lithium. You know, Deja Vu, I'm going to check in. There's thorium and thorium reactors, and there's one other type of reactor. I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't believe they use either. I could be wrong. I don't know if thorium is actually a type of uranium. I don't think it is. I think it's a total different type of substance, but I haven't done any research on it, so I can't really speak on it. But I do know they have thorium or are working on thorium reactors. And also, it's a sand, some sort of a sand thermal, or I shouldn't even brought it up. I don't even recall. It's experimental. It's a molten sand or thermal sand generator or something. I don't know. Theoretical shit I don't want to talk about because I don't recall. But anyhow, I just wanted to bring that report because as I was doing my research more on nanonuclear energy, I came across two companies that are getting in their regulatory paperwork put in right now to officially put them in the running to be creators and manufacturers and salesmen of different styles of micronuclear reactors. And that breeds opportunity because if they're just now putting in their paperwork to be able to do the regulatory part of that process, that means their stocks are real small. After they get approved, which they will, because they're working hand in hand. And as you saw from me reading of that statement, the Nuclear Regulatory Agency is encouraging, for the first time in their history, encouraging, not pushing away, telling people not to do nuclear. They're actually now encouraging companies to work hand in hand with them early in the process so they can fast track, never been done before in the nuclear regulatory agencies. They're doing for these next two companies, just like they're doing with nanonuclear energy. Nanonuclear energy started off. Matter of fact, I can go here real quick and see nanonuclear stock. And I'm going to take this camera off here so I can get a better view of the time period. Max. Okay, nanonuclear started out. Oh, wow. Check this out. It started out at $4.51 May 10th, 2024. 10 months ago, nanonuclear started. They got the approval from the NRC to start manufacturing. Their stock right now is $26.11. In 10 months, it went from what was that? Let's see, that's 5x. And it actually already peaked at what was it, $45, and then it came back down, and it's going to go back way back up above that. But that would give you, I mean, May 10th, it was $4.51 in 2024. So if you look at these other companies, no matter if they have anything going or not, the nuclear regulatory agencies here in America are fast tracking companies that put in applications for micro and small modular reactors that work with them hand in hand to get through the regulatory process. If they don't work hand in hand with them, then they're not going to get the fast track. But companies that are getting the fast track are going to be companies that go from starting price stock of $4.51, 1 year later being $30. That's a good investment and return on investment. And any company that grows that fast and steadily, their first year is definitely worth investing in, even though I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just bringing you guys information. I don't know if those two companies are listed on stock market. I just saw their names. Please do your own research on Sunday. Come back on my live stream. Tell me what you found out on those two. You can rewatch this show. It was like Oklo is the company based in California, and Deep Inc. is the company based in Switzerland. And they're both putting in for applications to streamline and work hand in hand with NCR to get their projects, their micronuclear energy projects out by 2029, working models by 2027. Investment opportunities off the hook here, in my opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I just want you guys to have this information because I know a lot of you pretty much probably don't research nuclear energy, but this time in history is changing. It's not the 70s, 80s, and 90s where we have protesters out there, no new nukes, no new nukes. We actually, believe it or not, have protesters out there, we need nukes, not nuclear bombs, nuclear rocket engines and micro reactors. Rolls-Royce signed a contract with the country of England 2 years ago to have a working SMR that they can use for a moon base by 2030. That might also let you know why these other two companies I just mentioned want to have working models by 2029, putting two American companies ahead of Rolls-Royce and Switzerland. What's that tell you for the American economy, for a new industry? Okay, one for fucking England, which is Rolls-Royce, and one for Switzerland. And right now, two, the leader already has micronuclear out there, is NNE, American company. Oklo, American company. So we're leading the energy industry just from the documents of every world out there putting their documents up saying, hey, we're researching this, we're doing this, we're regulating this. From all of that that's out there, America's leading the energy market into the new energy of the 21st century. I just wanted to bring you, hey, what's up, Quiltano? I just wanted to bring you guys into this so you can research for yourself, and do research for yourself, because it'll enlighten you as to the new economy they're talking about and how we're going to power it, and why Neil says by 2030, your personal power at your house, your energy bill will be 75% cheaper. Because as these micro nuclear reactors get out there and used, that means these big companies are going to go off grid. That means if we produce 500 trillion power units now, and we use 500 billion power units, when they come off the grid, we're going to need that many, and we're going to produce that many. What that's called, supply and demand curve, and it drops prices. Because if they're going to have to drop prices so we use more power, because we're going to have more power in the grid wires that go across these countries than the Americans are using. Because right now our whole grid is set up to power these big agencies, these big industries, these big computer conglomerates and their refrigeration units for their air conditioning systems and all this stuff. It's all coming from the power grid. All these companies coming up with these micro nuclear reactors are going to get companies off the power grid, which means we're going to have excess power, which puts us at a lower power cost. That's why I say by 2030, our power bill will be 75% cheaper than it is. I know 3 years ago when I said that, people would call me stupid. Look at it now. Makes more sense, huh? I know what I'm talking about. You guys have a nice night. Keep in touch. Watch me. I'll tell you more future shit that's happening before it happens. Probably a year or so in advance, because that's what I do. Have a nice night, guys. I just wanted to bring that. Be safe and be kind and be grateful and help everybody.